Crawl or Die, also known as Crawl Bitch Crawl, also known as Alien Crawl. So there's a whole lot of crawling going on in this movie, let me tell you. And this is a very low budget film, akin to the likes of Alien and The Descent. If you can imagine those two films having a baby, here it is. So, like I mentioned, this is a very low budget film, and the main issue here is the plot is paper thin. So, to give you a brief sort of synopsis, we're told that there's some kind of virus which has pretty made the whole human race infertile, aside from one lone woman, simply known as the Package. And she's basically being transported to another planet that we don't know where the hell that is, simply called Earth 2. We don't know how long this is in the future or any information on that. It doesn't appear to be particularly sort of sci-fi really, so we can't imagine it's that long, but anyway, I digress. So she's transported to this Earth 2, accompanied by this kind of group of space marines, and here they sort of discover some kind of alien menace, although the planet has been populated at this time. Again, we don't really know how long, but whatever. So these sort of space marines are sort of forced to sort of go underground in this sort of series of tunnels to try and escape this kind of pursuing alien. And that's pretty much the movie. There's not a lot else to it other than that. The alien simply is chasing these kind of marines and as you sort of go through the movies, kind of killing all the sort of cannon fodder one by one until you're left with the solitary lone female marine called Tank, played by Nicole Alonso. And then she's the sole protector of the kind of the package, so to speak, and that's really it. That is really the movie, and that's going to be the main criticism here. Is this film is boring because there's nothing happens. That is simply the whole movie I've told you there. And although you could argue it does create a sense of tension because it is such a kind of drawn out affair, there are long periods of really sort of tension building, which I kind of, you know, I can appreciate that. But unfortunately, the final package is a boring movie. The action is fairly sparse, and even when we do sit to see it, it's kind of dark and very obscured a lot of the time. On the positive side, I would say this. If you factor the fact that it is actually a kind of low budget film, the alien effects initially don't look too bad. They're kind of very kind of ripping off the H.R. Geiger alien, to be honest, but when we sort of first see the kind of the few sort of shots of it, it's kind of obscured. We don't see too much of it. We only sort of see parts of it, and it actually looks quite effective. As the kind of movie progresses, we see more and more of it, and it kind of looks a little bit on the cheaper side at that point. But initially, it looks quite good. As I mentioned, it does have quite a good sense of tension in some scenes, and if you are a claustrophobic, then you're not going to like this movie because it has this kind of sort of trapped feel, which I think, again, it sort of plays quite well on. I also have to say the main actress here is Nicole Alonso. She plays Tank, who is the kind of I guess the main character, one of these sort of space marines. Although she's not the best actress, and tends to have this kind of concerned look on her face all the time, and you know, that sort of thing. She does come across as quite a strong character, and she's visually very interesting to look at. She has this kind of like blonde mohawk, and you know, looks quite sort of unique and kind of quite a good action hero. But I suppose a lot of that is down to the kind of the costume department and things like that. Although for some reason they find an excuse for her to get down to her hot pants and FMBs, but whatever. So the negatives though far outweigh the positives. Like I said, by far and away the biggest one. This film is just so boring. There's no real kind of twists and turns in this film. It is really just these guys sort of travelling through these tunnels, and that's really it. So absolutely no surprises, and you're going to wait for something really interesting to happen, and it really doesn't. As I said, the action is relatively sparse and quite poor, to be brutally honest. And also there has some logic issues. I couldn't understand the initial couple of, sort of scenes where we sort of see these sort of space marines and they're fighting something. Like, oh, there's some kind of battle going on, and they kind of get into these tunnels. And this is all in the first sort of 7 minutes or so. And this sort of alien sort of pops through, and they're acting really surprised. Like, oh my god, what is it? And I'm like, what have you just been fighting? And literally the previous scene, you know, you were obviously fighting something. So why are you surprised now when there's something popping through the door? Don't understand. And we're not giving a lot of information. As I said, we're not really told a lot about the virus. We're not really told where this Earth 2 is. I mean, how far away is it? Time frames, things like that. So a lot of it you kind of have to sort of pick up on as the sort of film progresses. Because it's so kind of boring, you're going to be like checking your phone, you're going to be looking at your tablet and things like that, and you're going to, I guess you're going to miss this stuff, which is, I guess some of the information is given to you as the film progresses, but initially you just don't think, what actually am I watching? So overall, by far and away the worst issue of this film, as I say, is just the kind of the boring plot. It needs a better script, and that's the problem here, is that it's a low budget film, and you could argue, oh well, you know, they don't have the budget to do sort of, you know, flashy stuff, and fair enough you don't, but you know, it doesn't take lots of budget just to have a better script, let's be honest. So I'll have to give this movie a 4 out of 10. It was a little bit disappointing. It has 0 rewatchability, so if you're going to see it, you're only going to ever see it once. 4 out of 10. What did you think of it? Leave me a comment and I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.